look at the things we do and look at the things we're going to continue to do. So all brands should be doing some sort of CSR activity.
And I don't mean to pick on Heineken. They're just an example that ties in with our dog theme today. But this is happening with a lot of brands. And the real problem here is that your responsibility funds are generally not connected to your social media people who are generally in the marketing department. And right now we've got this massive disconnect from wanting to spend on social good and not actually knowing what our customers want us to be spending on. And I think there's a huge opportunity right now for brands to be connecting CSR to their social media programs.
I think that's very true. I mean, certainly, as I was at Cathay, there's a massive reluctance to talk, it's certainly for big companies, about what good they do out there. That can be, painting orphanages, sponsoring the choir, working with disabled children, the Sunnyside Club, of course, great cause, and some of the animal activities that they helped me sponsor. A lot of that stuff, companies just don't get out there. I think there's still a fear, I don't know if Jay agrees with me, but I think there's a big fear in corporates, and that includes brands, agencies, et cetera, if you are doing some social good, to actually talk about it, right? It seems to be like, we can't really blow our own trumpet because people won't like us. Personally, I actually feel the opposite. I think you should talk about, if you've got, team members who are doing a beach cleanup. There's a law firm, Bowers and something, I believe, doing a beach cleanup in a couple of weeks I'm going to. Hey, lawyers are cleaning up some shit. Isn't that great? Instead of creating it, they're actually cleaning some up for once. If I was that company, I'd be whacking that out, saying, we do care about the environment, even though we're lawyers. That's a good thing for them to say. Sorry if there are any lawyers. I really love you.
To take it that a step further, we talk about building community, right? We talk about having this connection with our customers, this dialogue. If you say, look, we're going down to the beach to clean up, who wants to join us? You get to involve customers in your CSR. It doesn't have to just be you and some employees cleaning up the beach. It can be anybody, and they can come down, they can talk with you, people who work for the company and they're customers of the company, and you build these relationships, these communities. These seems like really obvious ideas that are still alien, I think, for most brands.
I agree. I mean, if we just have to look at some of the guys who are listed here, of course, Conan Wolf, Impact Asia, of course, have been a fantastic supporter of the SPCA, helped us last year with a lot of the adoption work we did. They're helping us this year. They helped us with the space to bring Spring Roll down here today. So thank you very much, Conan Wolf. I'll do the trumpeting for you guys. They're massive supporters of the SPCA. They're helping to get animals adopted, and several of them have rescue animals themselves. So that's a great thing, of course, for the staff. It's great to do CSR. It can actually be a lot of fun. Certainly, Chi Residences has worked with Wolf Guide. They've been great. They've helped dogs and very dog friendly. So these brands, there are good things that you can do, and that creates a positive presence for you. Ultimately, of course, it can make you money. Smart Drop, big development house here in Hong Kong, worked with me to build the first dog rescue, rebuild the dog rescue website, Hong Kong Dog Rescue. Out of that, I met Peter, thought his company did some great work. He went on to work for Cathay Pacific, billing millions of dollars. So, by doing this sort of CSR work, you can also use it for networking as well. So, NGOs as well, of course, need to push this commercial aspect. I personally don't think that we should be asking for totally free help for anybody in this room. There should be a payback. How can we pay you back? Can we network? Can we push your brand out? Can we help you, put our logo on your website as an example? What can we do back? And I think that's critically important. Should we move on, Jay?
Moving on.
Go. Okay, you taking this one, Jay? What can we do in Hong Kong?
I don't know. What can we do in Hong Kong?
What can we do? Well, I have a slide to... shall I show the slide?
All right, show of hands. Who currently is running an NGO or working with one of some sort? All right.
Excellent.
All right. You should keep your hands up high. Those of you who aren't, look around.
Yeah, look around.
All right. You see these people? Afterwards, go say hello, introduce yourself, tell them you got a few minutes, once a month you'd love to give to them. They need help almost always more than they need money. Well, that's not true. They all need money as well.
We all need money.
Give both generously. All right. Let's talk a little bit though about where I'm going with this.
You're going into this, of course, Jay,
volunteers,
which is volunteering and micro volunteering.
I agree. And this, I think, is where one of my ongoing themes this week for Social Media Week. I've been talking a lot about O2O, online to offline or offline to online. What makes social so much different than digital, right? Digital is all about just being inside the computer. A completely digital play would just ask you for your PayPal account or your credit card and take some money from you. But a social media campaign, one that was trying to get you involved, it's not about a like button, it's about something more than that. It's about you taking some time to join some other people offline, out in the real world, to make a difference, to make a change. And I don't mean this doesn't have to be, Occupy Hong Kong. This doesn't have to be Tahrir Square where you're overthrowing dictators, although if you get a chance, go ahead. Don't let me stop you. But we can do much smaller, simpler things. And there's tons of great activities being organized across Hong Kong all year round, where you can make a difference, where you can spend a Saturday morning going down, and it's a great chance, as I said, just to meet people, to become part of a bigger community, give a little bit of time, and then use that as an opportunity as well to push your own brand, to push yourself forward. I've been talking with schools, grade 7 kids, particularly at Canadian International. They're turning 13, so they're all legally allowed to be on Facebook, which they've already been on for like 6 years. And they, at that age, already are going off to do work with like Room to Read and volunteer activities. And my conversation with them is that their Facebook profile is their living, breathing CVs, that it represents who they are as people going forward. Now, all these kids want to get into universities, which want to see more than just grades. They want to see these well-rounded people. And I was saying, look, if you're going out and you're doing volunteer activity, take pictures of the work that you're doing there. Put that stuff up on Facebook. Talk with your friends about how you're collaborating on projects. That stuff speaks volumes as to who you are as a person. I think we have such opportunities here to share this good, and when other people see you doing it, it'll get them excited about wanting to do it as well. The more we share our involvement in these activities, the more people we'll get, and then the more successful all these NGOs will be.
That's very true. So, I'll continue on that, and we'll just ask the guys from Hands On Hong Kong to put their hands up. If everybody can see, they're just at the back there. Woo! Hello, ladies. Woo! Hands On Hong Kong. It's okay. So. See, we didn't get a round of applause, but they do, so there we go.
Full disclosure, Ali might be married to one of them.
Rescued by one.
Rescued by one of them. I'm not going to be tested on which one I'm married to, because I think I can pass that test. But yeah, seriously, Hands On Hong Kong, it is, of course, a great organisation. Just a great example that Jay was talking about, micro, in terms of volunteering, micro time, big time, company time. So we've got some big brands that work with Hands On Hong Kong here. But, again, if you've got individual time, the great thing is talk to the guys there, Caroline and Co, at the back. A lot of these NGOs, including WWF, a small NGO you may have heard of, like support something like a panda, we need volunteer time, right? All these NGOs need volunteer time. We will take an hour to a day to a week. We'll take whatever help we can get, So it's just really worth considering. I think certainly recent examples, of course, the Plastic Beach project, all those pellets that sadly washed up on our beaches, things like that. Small amounts of your time can actually make a big, big difference. And certainly in terms of corporates, it's worth talking to your companies and seeing what is our volunteer practice, what can we do? Many of these companies will match time off even. Or they'll give you time off at the very least to go and do some good. So sometimes it's not an excuse that you should have, and it's a worthwhile thing to do. And we're also going to give a shout out to Robin and the guys at Foodlink. Sadly, they can't be here today. Foodlink is a great, great organisation. They take unwanted food, basically, and they'll pass it to the needy in Hong Kong, sadly of which there are many. Hong Kong wastes something like 100 in tons, we waste about 100 double-decker buses worth every single day of unwanted food in Hong Kong.
We just did Twitter feeding at lunch today as well, which was helping for Feed Hong Kong, similar to Foodlink. And they tweeted it was 23 tons a day, but that was just from supermarket waste. That's food waste.
Edible food waste.
Edible food
Thank
waste.
you. Mirren was there.
100 double-decker buses.
It might have been his tweet I saw.
Yeah. So, but it's a serious issue here. That much food being dumped. There are people who are sadly starving in Hong Kong who don't get a square meal. The joke I made to Robin, why don't they try circular meals instead, didn't go down very well. But, seriously, we can actually all do something there. You know, the amount of food that is wasted, that is a crying shame in Hong Kong when there are people who can't get those meals. So again, you know, if you work for an organization or if you know an organization that has food that can donate to Foodlink, these guys are great, Feeding Hong Kong as well. They've all got vans. They'll come and pick this food up. That's the best part. They'll actually come and take it away from you. You don't have to do anything with it in that context. But just to show you, you know, talking to Robin, and I said, oh, great, you know, you guys say, you know, you need food. Wonderful. I've got a fridge full of stuff I don't eat. You know, I'll donate it to you. And she said, well, one of the things is we, of course, need food donations, but people see Foodlink and they think, oh, you just need food. Right? We're an NGO, you just need us to donate some food and, you know, that's all we need. Well, actually, it's not true. They need a Chinese translator. They really struggle with traditional Chinese. They're trying to get leaflets for the people. They're trying to go out to housing estates and try and tell people these vans are coming round. So they need some help in Chinese translation. They need, obviously, donors, you know, people they can contact. You know, again, that's how you could help. Maybe just an email to Robin saying, hi, I know somebody at, you know, X organization, Pret a Manger, McDonald's, whatever. They need help in PR. I know there are some great PR firms here. You know, they need help in that area. Events. They're always trying to organize events. You know, can you go along and maybe help man the stall? They need that sort of thing. And the final one that she pleaded with me was, if anyone knows any graphic designers, Robin is desperately looking for a graphic designer to do some leaflets. So again, for all these NGOs, you know, there are other skills, and there's a wide range of skills they need.
Which I think ties into our next bit as well. Oh, actually, we got
rid of that one.
Oh, we got rid of that one. All right. Well, we wanted to mention, so we've got a minute here before we bring Michael up. I want to talk a little bit about each of us as individuals inside our brands that we work for and how we can make a difference. Ali's final hurrah, which he'd been pushing for all the time that he was at Cathay.
5 years.
And at the last week that he was there, finally managed to push through, was the shark fin ban. And it, you know, that's a big thing. Not all of us have as many opportunities in where we work. But maybe we do know, we have a contact, or we do see waste in the workplace, or there's ways to get around it. Kiri Sinclair, you here somewhere still? She introduced me yesterday to soap cycling. I don't know if you saw that in the paper today. You know, some people have come up with this idea of how hotels wasting those little bars of soap. People like wash themselves once and leave them. They go around, they gather these all up, and they melt them all into like new bars of soap and distribute them to people who don't have soap. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but hygiene is like, or lack thereof, is a major cause of disease. And you can prevent a lot of bad things from happening to people if you can give them free soap.
Agreed, and Casey Lau is a big recipient of that charity, aren't you? Casey is the back there. So.
Casey hasn't used soap since 1932.
We love Casey, really. We're just teasing him.
But yeah, there's lots of opportunities, I think, for us to try and look for ways we cut down waste, so that we can provide excess time or excess services, or, you know, like Google builds in their, you know, they give employees 20% time to work on other projects. You know, ideas where we give employees extra time each week, not to be working on various projects, to be working perhaps on something else. We're trying to, again, use that as an opportunity then to tie into social media, leverage that to connect to a bigger community, to connect better to your customers, to, you know, just to make the world a better place.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly, and talk about the shark fin issue, of course. Yeah, that took a long time to get banned at Cathay. Sadly, far longer than it should have taken. But we did get it banned, and that's the main thing. That was a big deal, and, you know, thank you to Jay for that. Yeah, absolutely, it was a big deal. But for any organisation, for anybody in this room, you know, the sharks, we are killing our oceans with this shark fin issue. I just plead with you, go back to your own organisations, maybe send an email to the CEO, to the boss, you know, whoever it is, and say, have we got a policy against consuming shark fin at any of our events? Many of you will work for small companies, big companies, you know, is that policy in place? You know, one email can start that questioning and get people thinking. It may be that you have already banned it without knowing. Wonderful, but make that public. The more organisations that we can get that say, look, we're not going to serve shark fin, you know, before we even do an event, the better that is, especially for these hotels and these restaurants. We want you as companies, event planners, anything, to be going out and saying, we do not support consumption of shark fin. We do not want it served at our events. That just helps. One extra person. When I started the ban at Cathay, one email started that, right? Probably a fairly suicidal email in my first month to say, what is our shark fin policy? And then, of course, we read the sustainability report, and I was about the only person who did read it. And then it kind of continued on from there. But one email, that started with one person saying, we need a full ban on shark fin. Now, if one person can do that, if one person can start to influence that, then we had the environment team involved. We went all that way through, and we got shark fin banned at Cathay Pacific. So, one person has to start that movement, and for many, many companies it'll be quicker and easier. So I implore anybody, please do check with your organization. It's a simple email. Harangue those bosses. What is our policy on shark fin?
All right, well then let's invite Michael. Big round of applause. Michael Wong, SPCA.
Well, thank you.
So we're going to have a Q&A session. Jay, should I start this? Or
You
do want
start.
to? Okay. So we've asked Michael Wong just really up here because we're talking about social good, we're talking about social media, and we really want to grill Michael on some of the aspects of social media. But let's start off with an easy one, Michael. Is what Jay and I have said, is that accurate of the challenges that you're facing in social media?
Yes, I'll say so. We've been actually very lucky with social media. When we first started on Facebook in about 3 years ago, 2009, it was a very slow